hype is real. Fallout 4 has been announced and we couldn't be more excited. You can pre-purchase it right now over on Green Man Gaming. But for this week's top 5, we thought it would give us a good excuse to look at some of the best post-apocalyptic games in the business. First on the list, it's Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl and its 2 expansion packs. Now these were fantastic FPS RPG titles back in the day, situated in a highly radioactive, completely desolate landscape vaguely based on Chernobyl. The fact that Stalker itself stands for Scavenger, Trespasser, Adventure, Loner, Killer, Explorer and Robber kind of tells you everything you need to know about the game and what it took to eke out an existence in this barren environment. You had to keep an eye on radiation levels, your hunger, not to mention persistent wounds. It was a hard game set in a hard world. Survival was truly for the fittest. The Metro games are some of the most atmospheric first-person shooters in the industry. The flavour, the atmosphere is so very different from what we're accustomed to. Yes, we've got an irradiated Earth, we've got mutant monsters to face off against, but what makes these games truly special is the level of detail in conjuring up a world where hope seems to be lost. Civilization has crumbled to pieces, and there are folk in the subways just kind of getting on with it. The world building is fantastic, the aesthetics, the lighting, the sound design, all coming together to provide an utterly unforgettable experience. It might be one of the most downbeat adventures out there, but that doesn't stop the Metro series from being unmissable. Brian Fargo and the team at In Exile waited a long time for the opportunity to create a true sequel to the granddaddy of all post-apocalyptic survival adventures, Wasteland. And true, we've had Fallout and Fountain of Dreams, but those were spiritual sequels more than anything else. Wasteland 2 arrived as a smashing Kickstarter success, and frankly blew our socks off. A modern take on retro stylings with its aesthetics enormously reminiscent of the Infinity Engine's heyday, Wasteland 2 mixes exceedingly dark elements with a little light relief, but at the centre of it all is a vast expanse filled with interesting characters and, most crucially of all, lots of player choice. Here was a game where players had to make decisions based on their own moral compasses and the narrative's context, and then the logic of the game would determine the lasting impact of those actions. In the world of Wasteland 2, you constructed your own morality, and the game was unflinching in showing you the consequences of your actions. Speaking of consequences, let's talk about The Walking Dead, and where will a list about post-apocalyptic games be without mentioning zombies? But in The Walking Dead, the apocalypse kind of takes a back seat to the characters that come to the fore. Truthfully, in Telltale series, it's not just that your actions can be extreme or that the consequences can be surprising, but rather that the characters they affect and involve, you deeply care about them. By episode 5 of season 1, I was weeping like a baby, and that final scene between Lee and Clementine, well, it broke me completely. Number 1 though, has to be the Fallout series. Ron Perlman was right when he said that war never changes. The Fallout series has evolved considerably over time, but its themes, its style, and the things that really grab you as a player have remained incredibly consistent. At its core, Fallout is all about survival, trying to exist in this barren world and what you'll do to get ahead. In many ways, Fallout demonstrates a blank slate, and that's why the RPG mechanics feel so good and work so well. You progress, you grow, you evolve, depending on the way you conduct yourself throughout the world. Every little decision matters, everything you do has consequences, maybe not necessarily to the world around you, but certainly how you function within that world. The time capsule effect only adds to that as well, that grotesque juxtaposition between the post-Second World War euphoria of the 1950s and this horribly mutated nuclear landscape you find yourself in. Fallout lets you loose on a landscape bereft of humanity and allows you as a player to define what that is to you. You can be as merciless or benign as you like, inventing your own morality as you go along and setting your faithful dog on unsuspecting ghouls. Fallout, we've missed you. It's good to see you're coming back later this year.